Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is Refuge from Narcissism, and this refugee video is sponsored by contribution from Anonymous, and here's her story. Hi, Ollie. Thank you and Charlene for all that you do. It was so great to hear your good news in one of your recent videos. So well deserved. Thank you to you and your other listeners and contributors. I am learning what is normal and not normal. My heart goes out to everyone. So many people I want to send a virtual hug to and encouragement for them for being strong. There is something to be learned from each video, and you have amazing insight. One story that particularly stands out was the girl from Hawaii, I think. Her mother kept gaslighting her and telling a story about the daughter, saying it happened at Walmart and the daughter thought it was Kmart. The daughter felt guilty and wondered why that detail mattered, but you validated why it mattered and explained her mother's likely motivations. I definitely relate to that. Details do matter. In a narc family, you hold on to anything you could to be right about. I'm looking at who broke my plate first. Okay. Background. Let's call me Anonymous for now. I am emailing you from what I believe to be narc-infested waters. I am a 40-something wife, married over 20 years, no kids. I have always been different from my parents and two younger sisters. I would say I could have been adopted, but look so much like my dad. There is so much to the dynamic, but basically I have never been able to stick up for myself and took on the job of used to be happy-go-lucky, compliant peacekeeper. I have always tried to see both sides and keep everyone happy if possible. My family are loving, fun, and generous. They can be controlling, oppositional, judgmental, criticizing people on their flaws and imperfections, and don't have a problem telling people what they should think and do. I'm either too scared, too stupid to tell people about their flaws. I figure most people might just know about them, and or it is probably not the best way to make friends and influence people. The carrot versus the stick. In my mid-40s, until recently, my parents finally stopped telling me and telling the story at parties to remember the egg Anonymous, saying my first name in a demeaning way. Okay, yeah, this section is, that's my name, don't wear it out. In my mid-40s until recently, my parents stopped telling me and telling the story at parties to remember the egg Anonymous, saying my first name in a demeaning way. I accidentally broke a beautiful decorative egg in a store when I was 4. Oh, Christ. See, this is what I'm talking. See, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, she's in her mid-40s. Okay, she's in her mid-40s. Okay, and she's still having to answer for things she did at 4 years old. I accidentally broke a beautiful decorative egg in a store when I was 4 because I didn't listen and picked it up. Yeah, that's what 4-year-olds do. That's your mother's fault, not yours. I learned not to touch things because there was a good chance I'll drop it, and of course, to be obedient. I hate my real first name because it was mostly used by my bossy family, friends, and husband in a negative, whiny tone, like I was always in trouble. Later on in life, my husband would use my first and last maiden name when he was angry or trying to put me down. I took his last name when we got married. Listen, I understand that. Not only did my father purposely constantly spell my name, because first of all, like my government name, everybody knows what my government name is. My real government, my first name. My government first name is Matthew. Everybody knows that on this channel. But, you know, to be fucking unique, my mother, okay, spelled Matthew with 1 T. spelled Matthew with one T. So every fucking diploma, every certificate, everything I fucking have, okay, my name is spelled with two T's and it's spelled wrong. It's not the proper spelling. Okay? But when I went by Matt, okay, I would spell it M-A-T-T. Okay? No, not my father. He was insistent when he called, just when you write it, Matt, and underline it. Matt with one T and underline it, like a fucking doormat. And he knew I hated it, and he knew that's how I did it. That's why I didn't like it. And he would, just to fucking accentuate it, the motherfucker would fucking underline it. Hence, that's where Ollie came from. But that's old news, old hat. A narc here, a narc there, a narc everywhere. Narc behavior in my family seemingly goes up to at least the previous generation. To some grandparents' families on both sides have red flags. Growing up, many people around me, other than relatives, had at least narc traits. Their rules, Ollie. I remember around probably seven-ish, my little next door neighbor friend chose the games at her house because it was her house. But when she came to play at my house, she chose the games because she was the guest. I would happily comply, but filed it away as strange but unfair. Yeah. Heads I win, tails you lose. That's how it always is. Heads I win, tails you lose. That's how it always is your entire life with these people. I asked my dad why my sisters got to go to college and they didn't put me in college. Dad said, you weren't college material and you weren't the studious type. He was right. It took me until my 30s to find out I have ADHD and other low energy health problems. My career is great for me, but I would have learned more in school and growing up if I could have focused. Then again, maybe I tuned stuff out for a reason, to filter out some negativity and shame. I still am trying to learn the skills to be less absent-minded, but in addition to ADHD, I also ended up having depression, anxiety, working on organization, so I have different problems than the rest of my family husband. They put up with me. Because of growing up surrounded in narc-infested waters, I don't know what is normal and what is not. I was in my early 40s, heard and learned what people pleaser was, and I thought boundaries only applied to land surveys or fences. Yes, I'm serious. My friends explained to me that no matter how nice I tried to be, I would never win my sister's approval, and explained that it sounded like I'm a people pleaser. Later on, when my friends saw my desperation sink to really low levels with more anxiety and hopelessness, she bravely pulled me inside and said that my issues and marital problems weren't all my fault. She explained that she had been learning about something called narcissism, and while she cannot diagnose anyone, only a professional can, she saw the way my husband acted on many occasions and said he might have narcissistic traits. I started researching narcissism but didn't understand fully what the situation was due to years of confusing gaslighting, projection, and many hours a week of circular conversations. He would lecture me for hours, and I did my best to listen, be patient, understand, and try to learn, but I could not use logic or reason with my husband when he wouldn't make sense. So you're just reliving your childhood with your husband. You're always going to end up drawn to the same type of personality, the same type of abuser you were trying to get away from in the first place. I mean, that's just what happens. And you're sitting there being lectured at like a child. Why? Why is that happening? Because your fucking family, because your fucking parents are still bringing up shit that happened when you're 4 fucking years old. That's why. That's why. Tell the story about the egg anonymous. Like, talking to you like a child. The discipline never ends. The punishment never ends. You're always on fucking trial for life, forever. He would also rage at the weirdest things, like while driving one time. He forgot to make a turn and he blamed me for not telling him to turn. That's okay. So, seemingly here, okay, just based on what you've told me in these few lines, I would tell you you're probably married to some sort of son, husband, woman in a man's body, okay? Possibly a male borderline. Probably a male borderline who probably has issues with his own sexuality. How do you get that from that? Trust me on that one. Because they all do it. They can't stand making a mistake. So they have to fucking lash out. They have to lash out. Where does he get that from? His mother. It was a 5-minute journey to a friend's house we made almost every week. He was so angry he threatened not to let us go, wanted to just drive home. Threatened to not let us go, like a punishment, like a child. Why does he treat you like a child? Because your family treats you like a child, because your family brings up shit that happened when you're 4 years old. Jekyll and Hyde, diamond making, and delusions. My husband and I had a long-distance relationship and are from 2 different English-speaking countries. Kind of figured there was something, there was some sort of different country thing going on here by how this is written. I didn't know what normal was. There was a lot of yelling in my house, but I had been baffled at his mother's behavior. I knew it. Yeah, he's gay. He's gay. He's been emasculated by his mother. He's a male borderline son husband. He hates women. Everything that goes wrong, he's gonna blame you for. That's what's going on. Every fucking time. Every time. These are keeping me very, very, my anxiety down. Okay. I didn't know what normal was. There was a lot of yelling in my house, but I've been baffled by his mother's behavior and her raging at the smallest things. She micromanages, has strange, inconsistent rules and actions for everyone that everyone must comply with. Oh, heads I win, tails you lose. At my house, I get to choose the game because it's my house, but at your house, I get to choose because I'm the guest. That? Do you see how you're attracted to the same type of personality over and over and over again? It's the same rules, the same dynamic. I didn't know what projection and black and white thinking was until later, but now I see so many examples from her. Narc traits and OCPD seem possible. She does really try to be perfect and kind, but then just kind of switches sometimes, like a borderline. That's what borderlines do. That's what borderlines do. My husband is similar, very quick, hardworking, perfectionist type. Opposites do attract. Funny he ended up with me, poor guy. No, he was destined to end up with you as you with him. No, you're not opposites. You're not opposites. It is terrible, but I used to tease him and call him my little diamond maker, like from Ferris Bueller. After researching psychology, I realized that could be very mean, so I apologized to him and asked him if that hurt him or he was proud. He smiled and said a little proud because he knew I was complimenting him for his high attention and detail, and that he wishes he really could produce diamonds. It is really confusing when they can be so nice and funny, but I am grateful for it. Years before I found out about narc traits, he was so tight with money that he would get upset at me buying groceries nearly every time, even though it was with my earnings. Finally, after putting up with years of this, I asked if we could go out to eat. He said, "No, we don't have that kind of money." This is how borderline. It's like how my grandmother would, like Virginia, would respond, or my mother would respond. "We don't have that type of money." Okay, fucking bank accounts overflowing with fed that fucking have their baptismal money. My mother, "We don't have that type of money. We'll lose everything. One meal, that's it." "No, we don't have that kind of money." We did. I said, "Fine, will you bring some food home from work?" I was not serious, but I had to do something to wake him up. He said, "No, that would be stealing." I guess he works for some sort of restaurant. So I replied, "Okay, well, I just don't know what we're going to eat. You don't want to go out to eat. You can't bring food home from work, and you don't want me to buy groceries." He rarely complains now when I shop, and usually thanks me. I gotta ask you, you've been with this guy for 20 years. Okay, you haven't gotten into it, I don't know why, but you mentioned no children in 20 years. So obviously there's not hungry kids running around, thank God. Thank God. I don't know if you didn't want kids, he don't want, but... And I'm not saying, listen, and I'm one who says, okay, having kids is not for everybody. Everybody should not have kids. If you just don't want to have kids, don't have kids. Don't force yourself to have kids just to do it, because that's wrong. But I got to ask the question, 20 years together, no children, okay, money, you got money. So he's either very selfish, or it goes back to he's been so emasculated he has problems with his sexuality. I gotta ask. Okay, he rarely complains now when I shop and usually thanks me. See, he also said his mother was completely controlling. So maybe in some way that's what he's waiting for. He's waiting for you to control him, but in the meantime, he's controlling you. Gaslighting, guilt, and boundaries. Gaslighting and raging got worse from my husband, and I really thought I was losing my mind and can barely do my job. And to say I was functioning was a stretch. I left for a few months to recover and then moved back in. We have been in therapy for about a year to help. I understand why you might want to leave this part out if people would have false hope about therapy. I am not expecting miracles, but trying everything to help. He made significant positive changes, but can still be triggered and project, etc. I have been working on Jade, Jade, not over-explaining, a trait that I used to explain, defend, etc. when asked a question. Like you said, Ollie, we were always on trial. To this day, one of my family members will think it is fine to ask me how much money I made, and I used to feel guilty and tell them. Now I say enough to eat month to month. Exactly. Always worried about everybody. Okay. All they care about is your money. Your money, your money, your money. They all care about money. These are the conversations my mother used to have with my grandmother. It tell her everything she bought at the supermarket, how much my father made, how many hours he was like. It was one of the biggest things they used to fight about when I was a kid. He'd be like, "Stop telling that bitch our fucking business." I don't. Oh my God. And my father would turn around and ask me, "Did she talk to you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then my mother would sit and she'd stand there just growling at me, but I didn't care because I fucking hated her so fucking much. I fucking hated her. I hated her so fucking much. Even then, I hated her. I was just fucking yep. Told her how much you make. Well, we went to a ShopRite, and then she said this, and then I'm like, yeah, fight! Because I hate you. They fuck us up. What do you want me to say? They fuck us up. They fuck us up. Oh, 3 days ago was the 3-year anniversary of her birthday, of the famous birthday visit video where I got on my hands and knees and wished her dead. And then she died 2 weeks later. My mother told me that everyone should have kids so they are not so selfish. To me, that was weird reverse logic, and it didn't seem like the best, most loving reason to bring a little life into the world. I was scared and felt oddly guilty and selfish if I didn't have kids because of her comment. Like I said, to me, again, it is a bit strange. Not strange, you don't see a lot of it. A couple being married for 20 years and having no kids. Especially people who write into me. I mean, there's usually children involved. So my point is, well, what I said earlier is, if you don't want kids, don't have kids. I mean, if that is your legitimate reason, you just didn't want to have kids, then that's fine. Okay? No, there's no reason to bring children into this world unless you 100% want them. Still, I am glad I didn't give in to the guilt because I knew I wouldn't be confident. I wouldn't be confident to be a parent, and I knew something was off, but I didn't know what I didn't know. My husband must have some deep-seated issues too, because he felt the same way. He says I would have let the kids get away with everything, and he is a disciplinarian. I agree. Oh, bullshit. See? No, it's too fucking convenient. It's on you, right? He has, definitely. My husband must have some deep-seated issues because he felt the same way. He says I would have let the kids get away with everything, and he is a disciplinarian. I agree. He felt that you were off, that something was off with you being a parent. So he didn't have kids with you, but he married you? So then why did he marry you? Oh, these people are all alike. Anonymous, yeah, man. These people are all alike. You think you're opposites from your husband. No, he's just like your family member. He's no different. He's no different than your mother or your sisters or anyone else. He's just another piece of the abuse cycle. And to me, I think he's letting you take the blame because you weren't confident to be a parent because you knew something was off with you. Yeah, that's why I didn't want to have kids. No, not because there's something wrong with him. You're letting this guy put all his fucking bullshit on you. It ain't yours. You're still playing the peacemaker. Even in therapy, even after leaving and go, you're still, because you're letting them get away with this fucking bullshit. I mean, 20 years, how many conversations did you ever have about children? What were they? What was the context of it? Don't just let them fucking pin that on you. I want to call a friend. Recently, my husband got upset with me for walking outside to have a private phone conversation with my sister. I felt so guilty. That's paranoia. That's paranoia. He wants to know what you're talking. Why? What's the difference? I felt so guilty. Stop feeling guilty. Stop making these fucking sociopaths make you feel guilty. Because that's what they're counting on. I felt so guilty. I felt the need to check in with my friend to see if this was normal, or if I was out of line for having a private phone conversation with my sister or her. She confirmed I was not being unreasonable. The fact that you would even need to call a friend to find that out. Listen, you got to get away from all these people. All of them are poison to you. Okay? Again, narcissism is toxic. It is a cancer. And there is only one way to beat fucking cancer, is to cut it the fuck out and kill it. There is no living with it. There is no curing it. This guy's playing you in therapy. He's playing you. The more ridiculous they are, the more grounded I become. So many times we have horrible experiences or problems. Sometimes situations can be so ridiculous it's funny. It becomes clearer to see through the fog. At least it lifts the confusion and guilt for a moment for me. So here's a quick interaction of rules and expectation that my husband impulsively created, expected me to read his mind and comply. We were on a good roll, but I let my husband down when he decided to throw up 5 rolls of toilet paper up the stairs right before I had to get ready for an appointment. In a forgetful rush, I only put 3 away and got ready for the appointment. When I forgot about the other 2 rolls, he brought it to my attention, and I did apologize. And I would have taken the roll and whipped it at his fucking head. Say, your arms don't work, motherfucker? You put them away. I'm going somewhere. I'm getting ready for an appointment. What are you doing other than throwing fucking rolls of toilet paper at me, douchebag? You want me to put them away? How about I take them, I stuff these other 2 right up your ass? How about there? Is that where they go? Well, don't. He might. I think he might fucking whatever. Two rolls of toilet paper. I mean, you're writing in about 2 rolls of okay. When I forget. Running out. When I forgot about the other 2 rolls, the other 2 toilet rolls, he brought it to my attention, and I did apologize. And still, he said, I let the team down, and my single rebellious lifestyle apparently doesn't believe in teamwork, so he won't switch cars around with me. What was he doing? You don't have kids. I gotta keep reminding myself that you don't have children here, okay? You're getting ready for an appointment. He's not doing anything, right? You don't have children. You're at home. I don't know if he works for, what? He can't be working that hard if he has time to fucking heave 5 fucking rolls of toilet paper at you, right? Okay, soon as the first roll, you should have fired it back. Say, I got an appointment, asshole. Put them away yourself. And move the cars. Because I can see that's what's coming up next. I let the team down, and my single rebellious lifestyle apparently doesn't believe in teamwork. So he won't switch cars around with me. Move the car. We had to park our cars in tandem, one behind each other. Yes, please push my shame button. That will encourage me, make me feel good, and have the motivation to try harder, not to forget next time. No, he just didn't want you going wherever you were going, and he wanted to punish you. Why? Because he is a jealous, sexually suspect, borderline male. 100%. 100% convinced that's what he is. 100. Apparently, I did not know I was in agreement or forced into an impulsive task he assigned me with consequences for non-completion. Of course, I am happy that he was thoughtful to think of replacing the TP before it ran out, and I simply forgot to put it away since the last two and rearrange the existing pyramid of toilet paper. Oh, so you have like a toilet paper pyramid that you didn't stack properly, and he's freaking out now. This man you've been married to for 20 years with no children that didn't want children because you're crazy, right? No children, nothing. You're going out on an appointment. I'd check his internet. I'd check his internet history if I were you, Anonymous. I really would. I would check his internet history because I guarantee you're going to find some really fucked up shit. That you probably already suspect. I guarantee it. There are threats and consequences for a toilet roll contract I didn't know I was in. Since I forgot the toilet rolls, he won't help switch cars, punitive and vindictive. I tried not to laugh or smile and hoped he wouldn't change his mind on the punishment and went outside. So why don't you just take his car? Because obviously your car was the one in there. And if you're able to switch cars, I just would have taken his fucking car. Just bye. I tried not to laugh or smile and hoped he would change his mind on the punishment and went outside for a walk and some Ollie stories and decided to finally send some of my own. Oh, so this just happened. When I came back, he came down and apologized. Maybe that story will be some validation for someone out there, or they will laugh, or both. I'm trying to work towards perfection, but I just wasn't born the Messiah. Thankfully, that position has been taken. Too bad. I know everyone's life around me would be easier. Until then, I will keep trying to improve on what I need to do. I will also continually learn to try to see the fins in the water, and if I can, just avoid the beach when there is narc-infested water. Kindest regards, and thank you, Ollie, and give my best to Charlene, Anonymous in narc-infested water. You need to get off. You need to move to a different beach. Is what your problem is. Okay, you got this all wrong about yourself. That you're trying to work towards perfection. And why are you with this guy? Why are you with him at this point? He's abusive. He's vindictive. He's catty. He's nasty. He's just like your family. still punishing you for indiscretions, for not moving fast enough the way he wants it. And why is that? Because not only are you still with him, you're still in contact with your family. Your family, and who until recently was treating you like a child and bringing up a story from when you were 4. From when you were 4. Nothing is going to change, and I've told this to I don't know how many people. Nothing changes until you get away from these people. This guy is playing you in therapy. He's playing you in therapy. You think you're opposites. You're not. I knew it from the first sentence about him, how he reacted, exactly who his mother was, exactly how he was raised. I knew it. You're married to another borderline son husband. It's just the way it is. Okay, and again, you're fooling yourself here. You are completely fooling yourself if you think that going to therapy with this guy is gonna improve anything. It might improve some of the day-to-day fighting for a short period of time until he's comfortable again. But again, this just happened where he punished you over toilet paper. They punish you like a child for life. That's why you got to get away. And you especially, you got to get away from your family, and you got to get away from him, because they don't have any boundaries and they don't have any respect for you. So I hope that helps. Thank you so much for your contribution and story, Anonymous. I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody watching. Please leave any opinions or advice in the comment section below. And again, if you want your story read on the channel, you have a topic you'd like me to cover, something you'd like me to expose, you'd like to set up a Skype phone call, have a private video made, you'd like to sponsor a video like this for someone who needs help and can't afford it, or just make a contribution to the channel in general to keep it supported, growing, and successful, because this channel survives 100% on contributions from all of you. Without you guys, all of this goes away, as this channel is 100% demonetized by YouTube and Google. So if you like what you see here and you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do with the PayPal and email links in the description box. Also, please like and share this video wherever you can. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and be sure to click the subscription bell to be notified of all my video uploads. I'm Ollie Matthews. This has been Refuge from Narcissism. Take care.